Alrighty, we're getting a little bit closer to the draft now, and I don't know. Everyone's still having Jamar Chase as the first wide receiver taken. I think that's a little bit of a mistake, man. We've got Devonta Smith. He's got to be the first wide receiver taken in this draft. He's my kind of front runner of kind of wide receivers in this draft. He's got to be the first one taken, in my opinion. I would definitely have him ranked first of the top 5 wide receivers, unlike PFF, who is having Jamar Chase, and I have been seeing other people take Jamar Chase number 1, but I mean, what are we talking about? At the end of the day, I mean, yeah, Jamar Chase had one good season, and it was a real good season, don't get me wrong. It ended in a great championship game. They won it. I think he had like 2 touchdowns in that game. We'll talk about it in a second, but yeah, he had one great season. But I'm talking about Devonta Smith, who's been at Alabama 4 straight years and got better every single year, and played in 2020 and won the Heisman. Jamar Chase, opting out of the 2020 season, which, we've got no problem with. Absolutely, take care of your own health. That should be priority number 1. I get it. But at the end of the day, I mean, that's going to hurt your draft stock. We haven't seen you in a year. We've got Devonta Smith, who won the Heisman in the same year that Jamar Chase did not play. So at the end of the day, man, it's no disrespect to Jamar Chase for not picking him the first wide receiver. It's just we've got proven talent 4 straight years, capping off in a Heisman Trophy performance. So I really don't understand how you can put Jamar Chase above Devonta Smith. It just makes zero sense. They're both great wide receivers. They both put up great number of stats. Devonta Smith is even a little bit taller at 6'1". Jamar Chase is only 6 foot. Everybody's making a big stink of Devonta Smith's weight at like 170. I think the last time we saw it was like 166. And, Jamar Chase a little bit beefier at the 208. But we still don't know if that was a fluke season or not. Because when we look at his stats, 2018 freshman season, just the 23 receptions for 313 yards. Devonta Smith had that season as well. Rookie freshman season, 8 receptions for 160 yards. And then Devonta Smith just kept getting better. His sophomore year, 42 catches for 693 yards. Then he's the primary target starting his junior year. He takes full advantage, 68 catches for 1,256 yards, 14 touchdowns. Then 2020, this season, the season that Jamar Chase did not play in, he wins the Heisman at 117 receptions for 1,856 yards and 23 touchdowns, and getting it done in the big game, the national championship game. I mean, we could start with, Jamar Chase's, 2019 season of why he was so great. I mean, he won the national championship against Clemson, 9 catches for 221 yards, 2 touchdowns in that game. Folks, I completely agree that Jamar Chase had a fantastic year. That's not what I'm saying. All I'm saying is that Devonta Smith has done everything Jamar Chase has done. So I'm not understanding. And more, and more, and more. That's what we're saying. Devonta Smith has done more than Jamar Chase has. So I'm not really understanding why people are having Jamar Chase being the kind of clear-cut number 1 wide receiver in this year's draft. We see what Devonta Smith did for his Heisman Trophy winning season here. He got to the national championship game kind of like Jamar Chase did. He showed out in the national championship game just like Jamar Chase did, but maybe even a little bit better, because he, against Ohio State this year for the championship, 12 catches for 215 yards and 3 touchdowns. We saw Jamar Chase only have 2 touchdowns in his national championship game. So, and he kind of not floundered, but wasn't a huge role, huge piece in the kind of playoff run for Jamar Chase in 2019, because we look at the bowl or the Big Ten, or not the Big Ten. What is this against Georgia? The SEC. The SEC championship game against Georgia, he only had 3 catches for 41 yards and a touchdown. Yeah, the touchdown, fantastic, but 3 catches, 41 yards. Is that a huge impact? Let's see. Let's go into this Georgia game to see kind of how we stacked up against other LSU wide receivers. All right, so here we go. In the national championship game in the SEC championship game of 2019. All right, the LSU's wide receivers, Jamar Chase, I mean, he was the worst one. The worst one. I mean, we had Terrence Marshall put up 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. We had Justin Jefferson, who, I mean, who panned out in the league, absolutely fantastic, 115 yards and 1 touchdown. So, yeah, Jamar Chase was great in that national championship game, but they didn't really use him up until that game. They didn't really utilize him that much in the SEC championship game. And then here we go, the first round of the playoffs against Oklahoma Alabama in 2019. 2 catches for 61 yards, no touchdowns. Let's see what everybody else did. They put up 63 points without him scoring the ball at all. And we got, what do we got? Justin Jefferson, 227 yards, 4 touchdowns. Justin Jefferson had 4 touchdowns in this game. So, you know, Ja'Marr Chase had a fantastic national championship game against Clemson. I think he was the one that put up the most yards. Let's double check that here. Yeah, Justin Jefferson only had 106 yards and no touchdowns. So, yeah, Ja'Marr Chase absolutely got it done in the biggest game. Fantastic. But Devonta Smith did the same thing, folks, and had a little bit of a better kind of run up into that national championship game. So, let's look at 2020's Devonta Smith's kind of, you know, resume and lead up to that national championship game. So, we get the SEC championship game against Florida. Devonta Smith had 15 catches for 184 yards, 2 touchdowns. Let's see how he stacked up against the other wide receivers here of Alabama. Devonta Smith was the only one with 2 touchdowns. Then Najee Harris had 2 touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns. No other wide receivers caught touchdown passes. Now, Najee Harris also had 3 receiving touchdowns as well, which is kind of crazy. So fantastic to that. But as far as kind of wide receiver talent, Devonta Smith was the only one truly getting it done in the SEC championship game. Then we go to the first round of the playoffs against Notre Dame. Once again, he got it done. 7 catches for 130 yards and 3 touchdowns. Let's see how he stacked up against his own team, his own wide receivers here. So here we go. One other wide receiver, Jaleel Billingsley, had 4 catches for 39 yards and 1 touchdown. No other wide receiver had another touchdown. Najee Harris didn't even have a touchdown in this game. It was all Devonta Smith scoring the ball, getting it done by his lonesome out there in the first round of the playoffs. And then we get to the national championship game against Ohio State, and he's still continuing to get it done and be the primary factor of winning these games, these big games, the bowl game, the first round of the playoffs, and the national championship game. Not just Ja'Marr Chase and SEC championship game, first round of the playoffs. Oh, real great final championship game. We got Devonta Smith running the gauntlet in these last 3 games of the season. So I truly just don't get it. I do not get it, man. Heisman winner, 4 years, getting better every single season, culminating into his senior season where he just went absolutely manic in the championship games, in the bowl games, in the playoff games, you know. So I got to give it up for Devonta Smith at number 1, being the number 1 wide receiver taken in this draft. I truly just do not get Ja'Marr Chase. Yes, he's a fantastic talent, but he only did it for 1 season. We haven't seen him get better. We haven't seen him just recently. You know, he's 2 years removed now from action on the field. So it's just all these kind of, you know, decent. I mean, they're not big red flags. They're just tiny red flags. But with Devonta Smith, we get no red flags at all because all the boxes are checked. He's a champion. He gets it done in the big games. He played all 4 seasons. Got better every single season, won a Heisman, and was just a primary factor in every single big game that he played in. So I got to give it up to Devonta Smith being that first wide receiver taken. I truly just do not get it. I do not get how you can put Ja'Marr Chase above Devonta Smith. I do not get it at all, folks. I truly don't. So that's where we're going to leave it. Come Thursday, we'll see, you know, who takes the wide receiver. It better be Miami at number 6 for Devonta Smith because I'm not playing this Ja'Marr Chase game no more. Go get Devonta Smith. He's proven talent. He's proven it. 4 straight years, getting better every year, folks. What more do y'all need to see from this man? He needs to be the first wide receiver taken, folks.